So you want to get started on your family story video journey. That's what this video is all about, so let's get into it. Hi, I'm Nicola Kane from Moving Memories, and I'm all about helping you save your stories on video for yourself and your loved ones so that the stories are not forgotten. Welcome to my channel. I hope you find this a really useful video. We're going to start with the 3 things that I think are important for saving your family stories. The first thing I would suggest you do is a really simple task. All you need to do is find that box of photographs, the old photos that are sitting in the shoebox somewhere in the bottom of a wardrobe or a cupboard, and I want you to take one photograph out of that box. Now, that one photograph will have a lot of stories behind it. So find something, obviously, with more than one person in it perhaps. It could be a photograph of a wedding, it could be a family birthday event, whatever it is. We're going to write down a few tips and stories about that photo. So it might be the date of the photograph, it might be who's in the photograph, what the photograph is about in terms of the event, if it's a wedding or a birthday, as I said. It might be when the photograph was taken, it might be how you felt when that photograph was taken, if you're in it. Anything that brings to mind a memory from that photo. Then you're going to write down those things that you remember about that photo and file it away with the photograph. And that is the beginning of starting to save ideas for your family's life story. And you can do that once a week. Take one photo out of the box every week and just write down some simple things about that photograph, and at the end of 6 weeks you'll have 6 story starters to work with. The second thing that I want you to start thinking about in terms of your family story planning is a timeline. So if you think from birth till current date, and just write that down on a piece of paper, just a simple line across the page, and have the birth date marked, then have the perhaps date of your first job, if it's you that you're writing about, or if it's a family member, whatever their date is of their first job. Perhaps a marriage, if there's a marriage on the timeline, the date of that, all the way through to the current day. And it'll just give you, at a glance, an idea of the particular areas or times in the life of that person, whether it's yourself or someone else, but give you an idea of the particular times that you really want to focus on. And it might be that it's only from early childhood up to perhaps having children, say, that you want to capture, because perhaps that's the area that you don't know very much about, if it's a parent that you're capturing the story of. Whatever it is, it'll be different for each person, but the timeline is a really good place to start. So that's your second task. The third task that I want you to do is to come up with a list of questions that you're going to ask at the life story interview itself. So you're planning and preparing based on the photos that you've pulled out, based on the timeline. You're planning and preparing now in this third stage the questions that you want to ask at the interview. So that might be from birth to, say, getting married. The first question might be, where were you born? What was it like when you were a child growing up? Did you have any pets? What were your parents like? What was your neighbourhood like? Did you enjoy school? What were your favourite subjects? All these sorts of questions would be some of the ones that you would write down. I have a list of 30 life story questions that I am able to supply to you if you just check in the description below, and it will take you to my website where you can fill in your details, and I will send you the list of 30 life story questions to help you get started. You can't ask 30 questions generally in a life story video unless you want it to be several hours long. 6 to 8 questions would work for a 15-minute video, as long as the answers weren't too long. You can ask up to 10 questions for a 30-minute video, and up to 12 questions for a 45-minute video. I wouldn't recommend going longer than 45 minutes because most people will lose interest watching it after that, but you may still keep the footage if the footage goes on longer than that. The actual final product, I would estimate between 15 and 30 minutes is about right. So those are my top 3 things to do when you want to start preparing for your family story video. So just to recap, those 3 things are: take out 1 photo out of that box of photos every week and write down some special information about it. Where it was taken, when it was taken, who's in the photograph, what the event meant to you or to the person whose story you're recording. And then the second thing to do is to draw up your rough timeline of the person's life from birth to current date and highlight those areas that you really want to document. And then the third task is to come up with the questions that are pertinent to this particular life story that you're going to put together. It'll be different for everyone. So that is the 3 things that I suggest you do now to start planning. It's never too soon to start planning. You can do all of these things really easily and they shouldn't take up too much of your time. And by doing this planning before you get started, you will find that the actual process of recording the video and doing the interview will be so much easier. So if you like what you've learned today, hit subscribe and you'll be notified. If you hit the bell, you'll be notified of future videos. And yeah, I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.